Here with Tony Mitchell from Sherbet, which was a fair while ago, and we're here at the Bridge Hotel, and just going to ask Tony a few things about his musical life. So Tony, what's happening here tonight?
I'm playing here with Ted Mulry Gang tonight. I've been with the boys for about 3 years now, 3 or 4 years. Had a lot of fun. We've done the Bridge quite a few times. We're expecting a good crowd. That's fun. I played on their last album, which we finished at the end of last year. It's a really good album, so you should go and buy it. It's called Power Surge, something like that. Anyway, and I know all the boys from TMG from Sherbet because we toured together around Australia in 80 days, many other shows together, way back in the 70s. I wrote Howzat in 76. We were doing around Australia in 77, I think, or 76. I can't remember what the actual date was, but it was a one hell of a long tour because we did more than 80 gigs in 80 days. Some places we played twice a day, or more. But that's what I'm doing here now.
I actually saw you play at the sports ground with Peter Frampton.
Oh, right, we had fun doing that.
Yeah, you and Cole Chisel.
Oh, was Cole Chisel on that as well?
Yeah.
Oh, we copped it when we went on stage. Some guy threw a grapefruit or an orange and hit Darryl right in the face. And they kind of booed us, and then there was a lot of people there, and Darryl said, that idiot that threw that orange up here, let's have a meeting backstage after we finish playing. Of course, he never met him because the guy got scared. But after he said, swore at him, or I don't think he actually swore, but he just stood up to this guy, and the guy just, everyone around him thought he was an idiot, and he was an idiot. And they received us quite well. We started going over a lot better. Silly, isn't it?
Yeah, it was great. What other festivals did you do back then?
Oh, I've done.
Did you do Sunbury, or was that?
Yeah, I've done Sunbury. Did Sunbury a couple of times. Yeah. Did not really a festival band, but look, there were that many around, and in those days, and they were big festivals. But we used to support people. We supported Creedence and Slade and Kinks, and a lot of stuff. And we had a big hit in England, so we went over there. We were in England for nearly 4 months. Then we joined up with the Hollies, did a tour of Scandinavia with them, and all over Canada with them. Then we stayed in Canada, and then we moved from Toronto to LA and recorded the American album, Highway album.
America was a hard place to get into, wasn't it, back then?
Look, you got to do what everybody does to do it. When we did the Skill album and the Defying Gravity album, the 80s and 82 album, where nobody knew much about it here in Australia, they started to sell in America. And really, if we'd have been there, I always had my bag packed. But, the boys are married and they kids coming and all sorts of stuff. They take preference. So that's what happened there. But I always used to tell the guys, bag's packed, it's right near the front door, come on, let's go, But you need really a couple of years to tour America, play everywhere. That's what AC/DC did. They just played everywhere, and they just went bang. And we got into the top 30, so with our 2 albums. So they were genuine sales, so people know us, But and when we bought out Howzat way years before that, we had a real bad mix-up. They were playing Howzat in America, and we hadn't had a record deal. So they were going out there wondering, where can I buy it, and couldn't buy it, could you? because we didn't have a record deal. But anyway, I played with lots of people since then. I played with Dougie Parker for years. That was a wonderful experience. And just lots of people. John English was a foster brother for about 4 years. Yeah, been doing the Beatles shows recently at the Opera House with all the famous singers in Australia, and that's a lot of fun. Just trying to get as much work as I can. I'm writing still. Still hanging in there at my age and still playing, so hopefully playing better. But yeah, I'm out there.
I think they're nearly ready for the sound check, so just one last thing.
Yeah.
Just quickly, how did you start? What?
I was brought up in a musical family.
Oh, where?
Yeah, and I just decided. I left at school certificate, I didn't go higher. I just went, there's so much work out there. You could leave school at a young age and get a job. But I left school and made a record.
Who were the early bands that you played?
The early bands with my brother on drums I made a record called Dame Zara. And Dame Zara Holt, who was Harold Holt's wife, she had a love loss column in the newspaper. We just took some stuff out of hers. She said, if it's all right if we do that, she said, yeah. And we wrote a song called Dame Zara. And it's like a letter to Dame Zara and her giving the reply kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I was only a kid then, but it's got strings on it and still sounds good today. Mm. Then I joined Harry Young and Sabbath. And our dear mate Harry passed about a year ago, just over a year ago. But it was a great rock band. Then after that I joined Sherbet. The night they broke up, the night Harry Young and Sabbath broke up, we were playing at Whiskey A Go Go in Sydney and Sherbet were playing upstairs. So we broke up. I could hear this noise going on upstairs. I went upstairs and there was a bit of a fight going on, a bit of an argument. And the bass player left in a huff and as far as I know, I didn't actually see him, but he left and I think he either got booted or left. I think he left. And he's a wonderful bass player. Clive came over and the guitar player and said, what are you doing? I said, oh, the band's just broken up. He said, you want to join Sherbet? And I went, yeah, of course I do. And that's what happened. Lucky boy.
And never look back.
Oh, it's all work, but it's the kind of work I like. You know, and you have success. We had a lot of success at Sherbet, but we really worked for it. We didn't make a lot of money, because to put on a good show, you have to have a lot of money. So that's where all our money went. We put on spectacular shows, you know. And we played everywhere in Australia. We're one of the few that went right out in the middle of the bush, time and time again, you know. So it was a great way to see Australia, being a rock band. You know, all the girls like you and, you know, people in town might know who you are and it's just fun, you know. It's a good job.
All right, Tony, thanks very much for that. I'm looking forward to tonight and thanks for this.
That's all right, anytime you want to do something.
Good. Yeah, no, it's really
I'll
good.
get your email and stuff off you later.
Yeah, no worries.
And I've got my little setup at home, little inbox and all that stuff.